You've heard it said, and maybe you haven't, that the best lies have a little bit of truth in them. And there is a little bit of truth in the sense that, yeah, you do need to focus on having a way for your expenses to be covered. Regardless of how that's done, you do have to start there if you're not there. However, at the same time, it's like saying that you have to focus on the hamburger patty and on nothing else in order to have a hamburger. Don't pay any attention to the bun. Don't give any thought to the pickles. No thought to the fry sauce, the mayonnaise, the lettuce, the tomato. Nothing. Just keep focusing on that patty. No cheese. Don't think about it. It's part of it, but don't think about it. You've got to focus on that hamburger patty. Well, you're going to end up beef rich and hamburger poor.
And you can even plug it in. We don't want to get goofy now, do we? We don't put that in there.
Standard of living is a common conversation, and I find that standard of living is one of those things that is complicated in the sense that it's standard and understandable. I mean, we all know when we say standard of living, and yet from an American point of view, when it comes down to how we execute that standard of living, I think is where there's confusion. And there's a common way where a lot of people, the way that people execute their American standard of living, and it's safe to say that the average person that's wants to retire early or just thinking about retirement, I used to see articles that said that people want to be able to do it and maintain the same standard of living as when they were working. There's some issues with that conversation, but the angle of the conversation today is about how the school of thought that says that there's a limit on how much you can save, but there's no limit on how much you can earn, and therefore the focus should be on how much you can earn. Now, that's one of those ideas. Well, my authority on this is that in my 30s, I traveled the United States with wife and children in a 30-foot travel trailer full time. In my 40s, I was a stay-at-home dad, and in my 50s, I traveled the world. I've done all this while being a millionaire 6 times over, or also known as could have been a millionaire 6 times over, but never got there. But that's the point. That's the point. Is that every time I turn around, there's some billionaire on this platform, because we don't want to say anything to get our videos sandbagged as they already are. There's some billionaire telling you that, why, you've got to focus on making money. And you do. If you don't have any money, you have to focus on making money. But where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line when you see people that their whole life is overtaken by this making money idea, and there is I've talked about people that say that they're going to save 2 years off of their grind. They're putting off their life. They're going to save 2 years because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to figure out how to have $500 a month of passive income. There's so much focus on making money, and it's one of those things that you've heard it said, and maybe you haven't, that the best lies have a little bit of truth in them. And there is a little bit of truth in the sense that, yeah, you do need to focus on having a way for your expenses to be covered. Regardless of how that's done, you do have to start there if you're not there. However, at the same time, it's like saying that you have to focus on the hamburger patty and on nothing else in order to have a hamburger. Don't pay any attention to the bun. Don't give any thought to the pickle. No thought to the fry sauce, the mayonnaise, the lettuce, the tomato. Nothing. Just keep focusing on that patty. No cheese. Don't think about it. It's part of it, but don't think about it. You've got to focus on that hamburger patty. Well, you're going to end up beef rich and hamburger poor. You know, you're going to end up maybe having a lot of chips and having a lot of regrets. Mark Twain said, and in 20 years, I'll be more sorry about the things I didn't do than the things that I did do. And that's a driving point in this conversation because there is so much, and we are a living testament, a living testimony to this idea. So it's not like this is pie in the sky conversation. This is something we've done all our lives. And we show that in our videos. And yes, some people judge it. They say, oh, penny pincher. Oh, penny pincher. Well, excuse me, but where were you when I was swimming in the pool every day? Weren't you at your job? You know, it's like, I'm here and you're not. Somebody said. You know. It's not penny pincher. There's a difference between being diligent with how you deploy your resources and being a penny pincher. There's a big difference. Big, big difference. And I think that the reason why phrases like penny pincher exist is because most people aren't diligent and they don't take the time to understand what it really means. And there's also a kind of ego attached to it too. I think that sometimes, not everyone, and I'm not trying to be, this is not a condemnation or to be judgmental, it's just that some people, they tend to allow money to puff up their egos at the expense of their neighbor and act as if they're better than everyone else just because they have more money. But the fact is, somebody said, if you want to be rich and famous because you think it'll solve all your problems, or just if you want to be rich and famous, try being rich first and see if that solves any of your problems. Right? But there's a limit on how much you can realistically save. Well, that phrase alone is misleading. What limits do you see in our lifestyle? Is it my office? Is it too small? Is it too drab? Is it too dark? Where's the limit? Is it the way I eat? Pizza, yuck. Pizza, ugh. Tacos, no, don't do that. The limit how much you can realistically save. Realistically, love that word. But increasing your income is limitless. So is the time and effort required to constantly be chasing increasing your income. It's limitless. The life-sapping amount of energy that you have to devote to constantly chasing more and more money is limitless to the point where you will be spent. And you reach life being the guy that Mark Twain talks about, wishing you had done the thing instead of saving up for the thing. All right, well, I hope you got something out of that. Thanks for coming to the channel. Have a wonderful day.